Hello everyone, my name's Thomas Rickson. This is going to be one of my first videos, so please bear with me. When I've made videos in the past where I've tried to speak publicly, I have noticed that I do say or a lot like that. I just thought let me identify that to you straight off the bat. It's one of my many weaknesses when it comes to, it's not even public speaking, is it? I'm speaking into a camera sitting in my flat, but it's just an issue I have. So I believe it's my anxiety or my nervousness. I probably don't believe in myself enough to say the stuff I'm saying, so I say a lot. This brings me to my topic of conversation today, that's going to be ego. And I just want to put into context how my ego during a very bad time has probably been the cause of a lot of my problems, and I obviously didn't know that at the time until I've given myself the tools to understand exactly where I went wrong. So what is ego? Ego, I believe ego to be our self-justification tool. Every good or bad decision or action that we do will be justified by our ego. Just like at the start of this video, I justified why I say I mean, it could be the fact that I'm not intellectual enough. It could be that I can't formulate the sentences that I want to put together in an intellectual way. So I need to give myself a little bit of time to say to give myself a couple of seconds just to think about what I'm going to say next. But my ego will not allow that. I blame it on my anxiety or my mental health. Why would I think I'm not smart enough? Maybe that's a narcissistic trait, but maybe I'll get to that in another video. So with me, my mental health, I realised that I had to suppress my ego for me to move forward. I had to stop justifying my actions as okay because I'm going through something terrible. I'm going to use COVID probably for the basis of my example, because that's probably the most recent thing I've been through, and probably that's what actually led to me having a mental breakdown. Although I've suffered from mental health for a long time, and I've made a lot of decisions from my ego that I probably shouldn't have made. So I am a nurse. I qualified into the pandemic. In fact, I actually caught COVID. I caught COVID on the last week of my last placement. So I definitely hit the ground running in regards to nursing. I think that's fair to say. So working as a nurse during COVID, it has honestly been absolutely ruthless. The one or two lectures I received in the 4 years of my training at university definitely did not prepare me for what was going to happen. It's awful. It was absolutely awful. I also lived alone. I was isolated. You know, I couldn't see my friends like a lot of us couldn't see our friends. I couldn't see my nana. My nana's my rock. I couldn't go to the gym. A lot of things were taken away from us during COVID. So my only out really was going to the gym, and obviously I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't do anything I used to do that would help me benefit my mental health. So then I thought the only thing what I could do and what I knew did make me feel good was to go to work a lot. I worked as much as I could through the pandemic. I worked in a very, very busy A&E department, which I'll be honest, it's traumatic. I think the trauma of this pandemic on all healthcare workers, everyone who's involved within this pandemic with COVID, it's just undeniable trauma. It went against absolutely everything. It was an illness. It's an illness with no treatment, no cure. almost felt like I was just useless. Uh, it was hard. It was very, very hard. You know, I'd look people in the eye and I'd tell people they were going to be all right. I knew they weren't going to be all right. I knew they was going to die. You know, we had to do a lot. We took on a lot. It was hard. It was really hard. You know, we had to be the family members for you know, they couldn't be there when they was dying. It wasn't a normal situation. Someone's normally dying due to their illness or you know, poor health. The family are always there. They weren't allowed family. They couldn't be there. So I think the hands of nurses and doctors and HCAs and everyone who works in the hospital, our hands were quite often the last hands people would ever hold. It was rough. It was it was rough. Let's just say that. It was really, really bad. And I'm saying them already, so sorry about that. So I think this is the start of where my ego probably kicked in. You know, I was going through so much. I know I was going home. I was drinking a bottle of wine every evening. I was eating a 20-inch pizza with sides, warm cookies, a tub of Ben and Jerry's or a tub of ice cream in one sitting. I allowed myself to get fat. I allowed myself to get unhealthy. I justified the reasons because I was going for a bad time. My ego allowed me to justify. Of course, it was fine. You're having a rough time. You can do that. It's no problem. And I started drinking. I was drinking every evening. Obviously, it was a very emotional time, and it was quite hard to deal with your emotions. Like I said, there wasn't really another out for me. It was either I'd go to work, deal with more trauma, or that was it. That was my justification. So this is basically how my pathway down the wrong. I just went down the wrong road, basically, and I think it's so easy for anyone to do it. You're having a bad time. It's like, it's okay. Go and have a drink. Just relax. Put your feet up. I was doing it, but just got to a state where I did it every evening. I was getting in. I was drinking a bottle of wine, or I was drinking 4 or 8 cans of cider. My ego was purely fueled from my self-pity, and that was the beginning of me losing control and actually having a mental breakdown. So I worked through to January this year. I did work a lot. I put a lot of hours in. I worked through to January, and I think I got into a situation where my mental health was so bad I just didn't think I could practice anymore. I didn't want to be liable for people's lives. My head, and I was just in shatters. I just couldn't focus. I was losing my temper at small things. I recognised that I couldn't do that anymore. I felt that I'd end up losing my job if I continued the way I was going. So I worked through to January, and I made the decision that I was going to have some time off work, and then, which actually would have been a really good idea if only I had the self-discipline to stop what I was doing and then to look after myself, but I couldn't stop. I actually started drinking more because I just couldn't deal with my emotional state. I felt like I was a monster. I felt that I was the cause of all them people dying. I felt that, I don't know, I just felt I was in a right old pickle, to be honest. I was in a fix, and I didn't know how to change my mindset. I just couldn't get out of it. I was in a rut, and I just could not stop. I was drinking more and more and more. I'd get up and I'd have a glass of wine for breakfast. I wasn't eating. Just trying to relieve myself of the trauma that I was feeling at that time, and I was justifying it by telling myself that I was going through shit. Excuse my French. I was going through such an awful time that it was okay to feel that way. It was okay to feel that way, but what I was doing was I'm making all the wrong decisions. I knew that alcohol was not going to help my mental state. Everyone knows that. We all know that drinking alcohol is a depressant. It's not a cure. It's just a really, really good way for you to escape what you are feeling, which in turn is actually a really bad thing to do, because it's just a short-term healer. You're going to drink, then you wake up in the morning, you feel worse. You do it again, you feel worse. You do it, you feel worse. And then just because you want to escape more and more and more, and your mentality is getting worse and worse and worse, you end up drinking more. So you just get in this cycle of negative and bad decisions, which you will justify because you're having such a bad time. It's the wrong thing to do. After that, I was drinking. I started taking my dad's painkillers. My dad has to take oxycodone because he broke his back. So, and if my dad goes out, sometimes, you know, he's had to be rushed into hospital, or he's had a lot of issues, to be honest. So I'd kept painkillers at my house. If he went to hospital once, they couldn't get the painkillers anyway. It's not the point. I had a stock of his painkillers in my flat. So even though I knew it was wrong to take these drugs, it was oxycodone, morphine. I knew it was wrong. I definitely knew it was wrong, but I justified it. I just feel so bad. I can't escape what I was feeling. I felt so bad. So I justified it. I was like, just take a painkiller. That'll stop you from feeling what you're feeling. It'll make you feel better. So that's what I did. I took another painkiller. I took another painkiller. I took another painkiller. I pretty much sedated myself every day for, I would say, at least 2 months. And then, obviously, by doing that, I put my mental health in a worse place. I was in absolute shatters. I just did not see a way out. I just didn't. I was back and forth with the crisis team to the GP, the GP to the crisis team. My GP obviously did what he thought was best and put me on more and more medications. And I was just in a real dark place. I did not see a way out. So I just didn't want to feel what I was feeling anymore. So I just didn't want to do it. I just couldn't deal with that feeling of what I was feeling. I just felt like there weren't place for me in this society. Like I said, I believed that I was the cause of a lot of people's deaths. I just felt, although exactly what we did followed guidance from the government, you know, I just felt that I was the cause of it. It's completely irrational thinking. I don't know how I come to that conclusion, but that's mental health for you. It can make you feel and think things that are not right, but you will believe them because it's your head. You don't doubt yourself very often, do you? Well, I doubt myself every day, but you know, generally speaking, you don't. If you think something, you think it, you believe it. So that's what I believed. So it led me to having my first attempt of my life. I took 300 milligrams of oxycodone, and I took a lot of anti-sickness. So oxycodone is a respiratory depressant, so it will just stop you from breathing. It completely knocks off your breathing. So that was my idea. I was like, I'll take this, I'll stop, I'm going to go to sleep, I won't wake up, I'm not going to feel this anymore. So I did that. I woke up about 20 hours later. I was covered in my own vomit. I'd wet myself. I was in a right state. I then slept downstairs for about 5 days because I was so unwell. I couldn't tell anyone what I'd done. I was so ashamed of this decision I made. I was just in a mess. So when I got myself back round and I sort of come out of that fog, I was like, no one can take that much oxycodone and be alive. Like, I didn't know why I was alive. I just thought there was a reason for me being alive. I was like, how am I alive? So that motivated me a little bit. I was like, right, I've got to get back to work. I need to look after people. That's what makes me feel better. I'm letting everyone down. I'm, I don't know. I just felt that there was so much pressure on me, and I just felt that I needed to do something. I knew I didn't have the discipline to be indoors on my own because I was making such a mess of it. I did have some conscious thoughts, but I knew that looking after people made me feel better. I felt so guilty about being off work in the first place because I felt that I was letting all my colleagues down. They were all working so hard. They were always going through the same thing that I was going through. Why are they all right? Why aren't they managing? What's wrong with you? I had lots of, I've had a lot of conversations with myself. So I made a decision that I needed to get back to work and I needed to fix myself up. So I contacted work. I stopped drinking. Didn't take any more painkillers and I was still in my mental state was awful. It was really, really bad. I drank. Sorry, this is actually quite hard to talk about. So about 3 weeks, I sorted myself out and made the decision to go back to work. I went through all the processes, occupational health processes. I let them believe I was okay. I was fit to work. I was desperate. I just didn't know what else to do. I went back to work on the 26th of April this year, and I was on a phase return, luckily, so I wasn't actually responsible for anyone. I was just shadowing someone just to get myself back into processes of work because I'd been off for quite a long time, and obviously it was my mental state, which I think you need to, when you're nursing, your mental state needs to be good because you are liable for people's lives. If we mess up, people die. Couldn't have that. So on the day of the 26th, I was only I think I was in work for 4 hours or 6 hours. I can't actually remember. So I was in the morning, I was home by the afternoon, and I knew that working was the wrong thing to do. I could not work. I could not be liable for people's lives with my mental state, which then obviously put me into a panic. I was like, what am I going to do? So I went home that afternoon and I got in and I said to myself, right, I need to make my environment good. I need this environment to be tidy. I want to be clean. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to be at home, I need to get this sorted. So there's a little bit of motivation. I thought, allow yourself to go and get 4 cans of cider. Put some music on, have 4 cans of cider, dance around the flat, do your cleaning, it'll be alright. It's fine, Tom. Ego. That was my mistake. I hadn't drunk for 3 weeks, so I was actually feeling a bit better. So I thought, I said to myself, it's okay, treat yourself. You're going to get this done. Biggest mistake I made. I had 4 cans of cider. Didn't really get much cleaning done, to be honest. Might have cleaned the worktops, picked all the crap up off the floor, pizza boxes, you name it. It was a mess. And then went back to the shop. I live very close to a shop, so went and got another 4 cans of cider and a bottle of vodka. Don't know how I justified that action. I'm still not sure now. I have no idea. It's ego. I did not have the mentality to say, no, this is not okay. What you're doing is stupid. I just let my ego run, justifying bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. This was the completely wrong thing to do. So after that, I got really, really drunk, and I just thought, that's it. Obviously, it put me into a bit of a mental crisis. I said, right, that's it. I don't want to do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't feel this way. There is no way out for me. What am I going to do? How am I going to get better? I can't do this. I can't even clean my flat. I wasn't going upstairs to the toilet. I'd pee in a bottle and wait until I'd go up to the toilet later on that day, and I'd pour it down the sink. I was crippled by my mental health. I just couldn't do anything. I didn't wash. I didn't shower. I didn't brush my teeth. I didn't do anything I couldn't look after myself. It was awful. I was like, this is it. How do I come back from this? So I thought, right, that's it for me. I don't want to do this anymore. And like I say, I still had all them negative thoughts in my head. I still felt that I was this monster. I still felt that I was responsible for all these deaths. I still felt that just this world was better off without me. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. But I believed it. At that time, I did believe it. So this time, I took 900 milligrams of oxycodone. Now, I don't know how I'm here. I really have. I don't know how, but I am, and I'm doing better now. So that's the main thing. So I took 900 milligrams of oxycodone. I took anti-sickness. I took all my antidepressants. I took everything I had. I took painkillers. I literally just opened whatever I had and I ate it. Obviously, I drank a lot of alcohol as well. The first time I tried to take my life, I didn't write anyone notes. Obviously, I didn't tell anyone. I just kept it all to myself, and that was actually something I regretted, because I was prepared to leave this earth and say goodbye to the people who actually love me. I was prepared to leave them, but I wasn't prepared to tell them I wasn't prepared to put my problems onto them. It's ridiculous. Anyone who loves you, absolutely anyone who loves you, would rather you deal with your problems than to lose you. There's absolutely no doubt about it. If anyone ever gets in their head that they'd rather die than put their problems on someone else, it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. So anyway, I took that amount of, I took everything I could, and then so I wrote messages out to people. I wrote, just people I loved. I didn't write them to everyone I loved. Obviously I was in a bad headspace. I just wrote some messages and tried to apologise basically for what I was doing, and how selfish I was, and that I understood that, but I just can't do this anymore. I waited for my breathing to slow down. I felt myself losing consciousness, so I then proceeded to press send. Now, luckily, I have some very, very good people in my life. People who really, really love me. And thank God I sent that message to some of them people. Because they come smashing through the first floor flat window with a sledgehammer. I don't remember any of this. I don't actually remember anything. So I went into hospital the 27th. So this happened on the 26th. I think I got taken into hospital on the 27th, early hours of the morning. I don't remember anything at the 27th, 28th. And then my first memory was on the 30th. Where they basically told me that I had a bed in a mental health unit, and there's booking transport. All I remember from this point, I just felt numb. Everyone knew my secret. Everyone knew what I'd done. I was just so ashamed. I just remember. I don't remember it all. It's a bit of a fog, to be honest. But I just remember sitting there and thinking, like, what have you done? What have you done? Then I got taken into the mental health unit by transport, and they got put in a room, and they said I'd be in this room for 10 days. Now, I don't know if I hope no one's seen the inside of a mental health unit. There's not a lot in your room. I was a high alert patient, so they had to check on me every 15 minutes. They did their job. They did do their job. But they watched me shower. They watched me go to the toilet. It was a real low point for me. I would say that was me hitting rock bottom. I remember my thoughts were absolutely chaotic. They were chaotic. I just kept thinking to myself, why am I not dead? How am I not dead? How am I alive? I just asked myself all these questions, and I just sat there and I was like, I need to change this. It's evident that I'm not going to die. I can't die. I believed it. I was like, no, I can't die. Can't do it. Not unless I'm going to do something graphic. And I wouldn't do that to anyone. That was my mentality at the time. I was like, I can't do that. I can't hang myself. I can't, because people are going to have to come and find me. I thought, and that would cause people trauma. I didn't think that me taking an overdose was not going to cause people trauma. Weird how my brain worked at that time. So, but I did know, I knew that I'd then hurt people. I knew that because I was alive, everyone knew. I remember sitting in my room and I was like, everybody knows, and these people, all people who wanted to help me. I had hundreds of messages. I was just a trickster. I tricked everyone. No one knew what I was going through. They knew I had a bit of time off, and I made them believe I was all right. Why? I don't know. But now I knew that I'd caused people trauma, because there was a period of days where I was in obviously the resuscitation suite. I'd been moved to a medical unit, and I knew that from what I'd done, I'd caused people the same trauma as what I was feeling. It was just madness, to be honest. I wish I never put that on people. It's actually one of the things that motivates me to keep going now. Whenever I have these bad days, I just think to myself, right, you're not going to do that again, because I'm not going to cause trauma for other people. I can't do that. So my mindset changed. I was like, I'm not going to die, I'm not dead. I'm not going to put people through that trauma again. So I was like, I need to change this. I need to get better. I need to fix this trauma, what I've caused for other people. My mindset had changed. It completely changed. I was like, I have to change this, and I knew it wasn't about me believing that I was going to change it. I knew I had to change it because of what I'd done. So I then started reading books. I've read books in psychology, I've read books in emotional intelligence, I've read books in neuro-linguistic programming, I've read books in discipline, and I think one of the things that I identified that was a big problem was actually the fact that it was my ego. Right from the beginning, if I could have managed my ego right from the beginning and say, we're not stupid, we know alcohol doesn't help, I know taking very, very strong painkillers is that doesn't help my mental pain. I knew that I needed to make a change. So, and I knew I should have made that change a long time ago. So then, obviously, I've read these books, and now I understand that if I just had that strength and that knowledge back in April, what I have now, that I could have changed everything that happened. Every decision we make, every justification we make is all our ego, and we can train our ego. There's lots and lots of information out there on how to change your mindset and your ego. But my ego was almost my downfall. My ego is what basically killed me. And what a mistake, just because I couldn't say no to myself. It's because I was justifying myself. I was going through trauma. It's fine, you can carry on drinking. It's not your fault you're going through a pandemic. Have a drink. It's not your fault. This is not your fault. It's not your fault. Excuse after excuse, justification after justification for everything that led up to my attempt at my life. I think if we can understand how our brain works and how we can make a change, and we can get out of that cycle of making bad decisions and justifying what we're doing because of what we're going through, then you can change a lot in your life. You can change a lot. It's all about, you've got to slow yourself down and think about why you make the decisions you're making. And is it the right thing to do? You don't give that advice out to other people. Oh, you're in trauma, I'll tell you what to do, go and have a bottle of wine. So why do we do this to ourselves? So why, basically, is why. Why don't we love ourselves in that way? I think we need to learn how to be disciplined. We do need to learn how our mind works. Especially for me, I think, since April, I've studied hard. I've done a lot in self-help, to be honest, and I think it had to be done, to be honest. Like I say, my motivation is other people. And now I want to try and share as much as I can if it's going to help people. I think if someone had told me back in April that I could have, what I know now, I could have changed it. I could have stopped that from happening. I definitely could have changed it. It's a big thing for me. I am upset by what I did and the way I dealt with things. At the end of the day, mental health is something that affects most people. Mental health is one of the biggest clubs in the world. Anyone can be a part of it. It doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, successful, unsuccessful. It doesn't matter what you've got. Some of the richest people suffer with their mental health. The healthiest people suffer. It's something that can affect absolutely everyone, and it is something that can spiral out of control if you don't look after yourself properly within it. I think obviously this year I have learned a lot of tools, and I've learned how to look after my mental health. So I just want to try and share that with other people. No one's alone in this. We all feel the same things. It's an illness. It is an illness. It's not like an infection. You get an infection, take a course of antibiotics, you get better. It's not like that. It's something that affects our brain, and the brain is something we don't actually understand much of. You can take medications for it. Again, it's not like taking antibiotics. The right medication, it's sometimes quite hard to find. It can be very hard to find, in fact. What works for one person doesn't work for someone else. I think what you need to do is you need to have the self-discipline to say no to this and to make a change, but you won't do that unless you make a change. You have to change to make a change. You have to. It's dramatic sometimes, and it's hard. This has been a very, very hard road for me. It's a very hard road, to be honest. Like I said, I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't going upstairs to the toilet. I wasn't, as I've said. So what I did is, little bit by little bit, I built myself up. On day one, it was get up and have a shower. Just get up and have a shower. I didn't do anything else. I laid there, sat on the sofa, felt sorry for myself, watched TV. That was what I did. Next day, I got up, had a shower, and I made my bed. And then I might have to do that. That was it for a couple of days. And then I got up, had a shower, I made my bed, I ate some breakfast, and then again, the next day, I just adapted my routine every day, over and over and over and over again. Where I am now within my mental state, I am back at work, I am doing a good job. I'm still having bad days. I don't think they're going to go away. I do struggle. I do struggle. I really, really struggle. But in order to make a change, you have to make a change. And if it's one little thing, again, with your ego, it's hard to admit that you can't get up and just have a shower. It's that we think we're better than that. Sometimes you're not. If you're suffering from an illness, it's hard to do things. Like I said, if you had COVID, you'd quite happily lay on the sofa for how many days, if you was well enough to be at home. But you wouldn't admit it to yourself if it's due to your mental health, because there's this stigma that we're not allowed to suffer from mental health, which is ridiculous, because half of the world suffer with mental health in one way or another. So for me, it was all about changing my mindset, suppressing my ego, day by day by day by day. I started really, really small. Like I said, I'd get up and just shower. That was it. That was my goal of the day. And I completed it. And when I completed it, I felt good because I achieved something. I achieved more than what I achieved yesterday. Day by day by day by day, by week, I've just built it up slowly. You know, I have changed everything. I'm doing everything now. You know, I go out for walks, I go out for runs, I go to the gym. I'm trying to help other people. I've just adapted my mindset and my routine for day-to-day basis, and I'm now in a position where I do feel that I'm able to help other people in the same struggles as myself. So between April and now, I've been through so much, and I have worked hard. It's been hard. This is not. I'm not going to sit here and say to you that this is easy. It wasn't easy. It was hard, and some days you fail. You know, some days you're going to get up and you're going to say, I want to do this, and you might not do it. It's okay. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Some days are worse than others. You know, even days now, I get up and I don't get out of bed. I'll lay in bed all day. You know, some days I think like I don't need to get up. But that's the wrong thing to do, because by the end of that day, I'll start feeling bad, and I know that if I do the same thing the next day, I'm going to feel worse. And if I do the same thing the next day, I'm going to feel worse. So it's all about having the mindset and having the mentality to recognise where you're going wrong, and just suppressing that ego rather than give yourself justification for what you're doing. Answer back to yourself. Say, no, this is not what I should be doing. I need to get up. Let me get out in the fresh air. Let me go and have a walk. Let me go and get out in nature. Let me do something that's going to benefit me. Every achievement you make on a day-to-day basis will benefit you. It's chemical. You know, like I've already said about on one of my Instagram posts about the chemical changes you can have, the feel-good hormones which can be released from just doing one thing which gives you a sense of achievement. The more things you achieve, the better you're going to feel, and in turn, the better you feel, the more you want to do, the more you want to achieve. It's a cycle. You just need to break that cycle, and slowly. It just doesn't have to happen overnight. I think this is the thing. We're all in a rat race. This is our society, isn't it? You know, we all want to change things overnight. Everyone wants to become a millionaire. Everyone wants to be successful. Everyone wants this. Everyone, you know, we all want for stuff. It doesn't have to happen overnight. You know, I mean, you might win the lottery. You might become a millionaire overnight. Well done. How many people does that happen to? You need to just start working towards something day by day, and then you will make that change. So, like I said, I've started an Instagram page, and this is going to be my first video for my YouTube channel. So, if you think it's helped, maybe, you know, if you want to give me a follow, great. I am going to start making more and more content. I do want to make a difference to people's lives. Like I say, I fully understand how easy now it is to, when you're suffering, to make wrong decisions and to get yourself in a worse place. And we need to change that, because, you know, I mean, where I was back then, I'm not there now. Back then, I saw no way out. There was not a way out. I would not have done what I did if I believed that I could have got better. I didn't believe it. And now I'm sitting there going, right, how can I help other people? You know, that contrast, that comparison, to me, blows my mind. So if I can do it, you can do it. Anyone can do this, you know, anyone. You just have to start doing it. You need to make a change to make a change. No one is alone. Loads of us are going through this right now, but we all keep it to ourselves. I can't answer why I believe that me keeping it a secret was the right thing to do. I guess I was ashamed of the way I felt. You know, who wants for people to believe that they're crazy, or, you know, or they suffer from mental health. No one wants to admit that. But if you don't admit it, it's very easy for you to get yourself on a path of self-destruction, and because you've got no support. You know, if you're sick, straight away, if I've got a bit of man flu, I want people looking after me, but I wouldn't let anyone look after my mental health. You know, so I think we need to change this our whole mentality towards it. It's a very serious thing, and unless we do start changing it, it's not going to change. You have to make a change to change. So, like I say, give me a follow. I am going to start putting up as much content as I can. I am very busy. I am taking on a psychology degree, which I start in February. So, like I say, I want to make a difference, and I think the best way for me to make a difference is to go and get educated in what I want to change for people. So, give me a follow, and then hopefully together we can make a difference. Anyway, guys, please take care. Please message me if you are struggling. I do think outside the box now. Like I say, my mentality is different. I'm not the same person I was back then. So yeah, give me a message. Take care. I can't answer why. I can't answer why I believe that me keeping it a secret was the right thing to do. I guess I was ashamed of the way I felt. You know, no one wants to. Who wants to for people to believe that they're crazy, or or they suffer from mental health? No one wants to admit that. But if you don't admit it, it's very easy for you to get yourself on a path of self-destruction, and because you've got no support. You know, if you're sick, straight away. If I've got a bit of man flu, I want people looking after me, but I wouldn't let anyone look after my mental health. You know, so I think we need to change this our whole mentality towards it. It's a very very serious thing, and unless we do start changing it, it's not going to change. You have to make a change to change. Uh, so, like I say, give me a follow. I am going to start putting up as much content as I can. I am very busy. I am taking on a psychology degree, which I start in February. So, like I say, I want to make a difference, and I think the best way for me to make a difference is to go and get educated in what I want to change for people. So, give me a follow, and then hopefully together we can make a difference. Anyway, guys, please take care. Please message me if you are struggling. I do think outside the box now. Like I say, my mentality is different. I'm not the same person I was back then. So yeah, give me a message. Take care.